ready to hear some noise tonight. You're just seconds away from Let's Go Blues Radio.
No doubt about it, eh? You're listening to Curt, Bill, and Jeff on Let's Go Blues Radio, the original St. Louis Blues hockey fan podcast. Take it away, boys.
Come on, St. Louis hockey fans, stand up and cheer. The Blues are back strong. This is our year. It's the Blues' turn now.
I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Yeah, it's the Blues' turn now. With that Al McKinnon slap shot, you know we can't lose. We are St. Louis, the home of the Blues. Come on, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis.
Let's do that hockey.
Come on, St. Louis. All over the hockey universe, the note is the news. Everybody's digging on the St. Louis.
It's Wednesday, February 27th, 2019. Welcome to Season 7, Episode 37 of Let's Go Blues Radio. This is franchise episode number 170 all-time. I'm Curt Price. Bill Day and Jeff Ponder are with me once again to have a lot of fun talking St. Louis Blues hockey tonight. To interact with our show on social media, follow the show on Twitter at LGB Radio. My handle is at Curt Price. Bill's is at Billy Blue Note, and Jeff's is at jponder94. Also, follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and the website is letsgoblues.com. And on the site, please check out the letsgoblues.com shop for t-shirts, mugs, and stickers. And if we have time, we'll open up the show later for a listener to join us on the air to talk some hockey. We say this every week, and we rarely get to it, so maybe we'll have time this week. I'm not sure. We have a lot of stuff to cover.
We did last week. Nobody joined us.
That's true. I think there's always folks. I can see the numbers, and there are a handful of folks listening by the end of the show, and I guess people are either on in the background or they're just too shy.
Or we lulled them to sleep last week.
Sleeping, right?
It's probably all the former guests of this show. I mean, I'm sure Rutherford, Korak, Cristiano, all those guys. They're the ones that are watching us because they need to know what to write and talk about the next day.
Otherwise, they have nothing to talk about, nothing to say.
Yeah.
Right. Berube, he's got to keep up with the show, so he knows what to tell the team.
Yeah, he's looking at it right now. He's like, oh, man, the way I got it drawn up, I got Sundquist on the first line. Like, I wonder what those Let's Go Blues radio guys will say I should do.
Yeah, because they know what's best.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of all the coaches that have been around since we've been doing the show, he's the one that we've talked the least about.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
That's telling.
Yeah, initially we were talking to him a little bit because there wasn't much of a difference,
right?
in the O2 Berube transition. Took a while,
but man, did it work?
I mean, whatever's working, I don't give a shit. Keep doing it. How are you, gentlemen, this evening, Bill?
I'm great. I'm in the middle of a staycation.
So jealous.
Yes, it is. It is nice. I spent the day with a bunch of football hooligans over at Amsterdam Tavern watching Liverpool kick the shit out of Watford. It was a beautiful game. Yeah. Otherwise, just not working this week and trying to have a good time.
It's the birthday week.
It is. I always take the week off just because. It started with just the birthday, and those wound up being the worst days of my years. So I said, no, I'm just going to take some time off. I have a whole bunch of time left over from last year to burn. So why not?
I used to take off work on my birthday often, and I've stopped doing it the past few years. I'm not sure why.
But you work with, some very close friends.
I do enjoy work quite a bit. It's fun. But it's not work to go to work, really. I work at work, but doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
I enjoy the people I work with too. My dog, my cat.
That's a big deal.
Great.
And Bryce Salvador.
You spend a lot of time at work, and if you enjoy your work, that's it's kind of a big deal.
No, I do. I mean, I'm on video chat about half of my day, and I love my coworkers. If I didn't love my coworkers, I wouldn't be a happy person. So yeah, it's important. I agree.
I think if I didn't like where I worked, I would probably look for a different job. It's more important to me, I think, personally.
If I didn't like my job, I would be trying to make Let's Go Blues Radio a 24-hour show.
An international success.
Yes. Yes, a show about a St. Louis hockey team being an international success.
Well, we were for a short while. We had a small little fan club in Quebec.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? What was her name? Her group? It was a Facebook. They should have a Facebook group.
Right, it was, yeah.
Danielle.
Danielle, right.
Danielle Screamin'. Danielle Screamin'.
Yeah. Maybe she still listens to the show, but I don't see her on Twitter anymore. I don't know.
No, I think she still has her Facebook group. Maybe she blocked us. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
But it was all female group, right? It was like all female. Fans.
Yeah.
And it was a blues fan group, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was
just blues.
Yeah.
We had a listener, like our second or third week when we started this show that emailed us from Croatia. Wasn't it Croatia?
We've had Russia, we've had Croatia, we've had it's all over. We had Madagascar one time.
Yeah,
weird.
Well, we get that soon. Since my nephew is going to be in the Peace Corps there for 23 months.
Is that right?
That is correct.
North Korea, which is amazing because if you look at Earth at night, North Korea is black. They have no power.
But it's daytime, so
right. The official beers of episode 170. 170.
100 and Sunquist.
100 Sunquist. Yes. I hate trying to say his name right. Just Sunquist. Bill, what you got?
I am continuing and probably ending the streak of coffee stouts with the coffee stout of coffee stouts, Founder's Breakfast Stout. I've had it, I don't know how many times on the show before, but I always seem to have it in the fridge, and that's what I wanted tonight. Had a few.
It's a staple of yours.
I had a couple watching the Liverpool match earlier today. Couple of Civil Life extra stouts, very good.
Yeah, actually, okay. I thought you were gonna say brown.
Nope,
that's their kind of signature.
Yeah. This saw that on top and went with that. So it's still stout.
Extra
season.
stout.
Extra stout.
Wow.
Yes.
Jeff, do you have an extra beer?
I do not have a beer tonight. I am battling a cold, so I'm using my trusty Reese's coffee cup there, and I'm drinking some hot chocolate to help my voice a little bit so I don't crack in the middle of the episode. But yeah, it's not been a fun week. It's been a rough one.
That's not a hot chocolate stout. That's a hot chocolate.
It is just a hot chocolate, yes.
I assume they make hot chocolate stout somewhere. Somebody's got a hot chocolate stout.
Oh, I'm sure somebody does.
Pretty sure I've seen it.
Although it's not hot.
That would be silly.
Right.
I don't know about that. Could you imagine drinking a hot chocolate stout? Like it actually hot?
I mean, beers are served in quite a bit of the world, actually.
Yeah, warm, like room temperature.
Right.
I don't know about hot.
I don't know. My beer tonight is in. I'll set the table here for this. This lamp over here for those watching YouTube. This is a Bud Light lamp. And it's got an old Bud Light bottle on it with a Bud Light can next to it that kind of pouring suspended. You know how people are clever, and it's pouring into a glass and it's a lamp and it lights up. And so I got that from my grandma and grandpa's house. So in honor of that lamp making its presence in my house today, I am drinking a Bud Light Orange.
Is this the same Bud Light Orange that you have bet Mr. Blues hat several times that he has declined?
No, I didn't. No. Well, what happened with that was that I felt bad about it. Is that I told him that I like Bud Light Orange, and which I may surprise some people because of the beers I've had on here. I don't, but. And I said, hey, you should try it. And he tried it, and he said it tasted like ass. And I felt bad. And I said, well, I owe you a beer then. And I have not seen him to buy him that beer. But every now and then he makes a Bud Light Orange reference to me on Twitter. And so
he has to remind you owe him.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess he has to remind me that he thinks he's better than me because I like Bud Light Orange.
He may be right.
I just like to think that I have a wider beer palate range than he does.
By the way,
what's that?
I just wanted to thank you for explaining the lamp. I thought that was just a bottle that was suspended in midair, constantly pouring.
No,
I was really confused.
No, it's not magical. It's trick photography. It's an illusion. It's not the tricks or things horrors do for money. This is an illusion.
Illusion.
Yes.
Okay.
For you folks that are fans of Arrested Development, Job on Arrested Development.
Oh, good one.
Yep.
I can't not hear the Asia song without thinking of him dancing around.
I always think of them in the Chickens Don't Clap episode.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys ever even seen a chicken? Chickens don't do that.
Only Arrested Development fans are laughing right now.
I love that show so much. I started watching it because I'm not caught up on the newer Netflix show, so I restarted from the beginning.
It's a show that I've started several times and watched it while doing other things, so I haven't gotten the full grasp of it. But there are moments in that show that I just like to, spend all of my time off watching this, and then I don't.
Here you go. Oh, look at me getting off. I'm withholding.
Oh, she might be the best character on the show.
He's funny. The podcast. No idea what's going on. I offered Bill a bag of M&Ms, and that's what's her name? What's her face on the show? The mom. Anyway, that was her line.
Actress is Jessica Walters.
Okay.
Also, Sterling Archer's mom.
Yes, right. That's a good show too.
Mallory Archer,
which I'm not caught up on. I'm like 5 seasons behind. So
oh, really?
I am. Yeah, I heard it got weird. Weirder.
It did. They are now in the 2nd season of a death dream sequence. Oh. It's pretty fun.
Today in Blues history, courtesy of the @STO Blues History Twitter account, February 27th, 2019, the St. Louis Blues unveil the Blue Note, designed by Sid Solomon III. And he has a article from the Post-Dispatch along with an Amity sketch from a blues program. This is interesting because it was designed by Sid Solomon III, designed by the owner, who I'm not aware of any design background that he has. And later on, Harry Oness's wife designed the Blues jersey. It's like, what the fuck? Does nobody in this organization contract out to professional firms to design things? This is crazy. Maybe he gave him a sketch and then he sent it to somebody to polish it up and design it. But that's weird. It's weird to me that the owner is designing the logo and submitting it and drawing it. I don't know.
Yeah, if that's really what he drew, that's not bad.
No,
the original looks pretty good.
I agree with you. And it's all solid. The one they have in the article, it's a solid black. There's no lines around it, or it's like basically clip art. But
by the way, Curt, how can we be so stupid? Lucille Bluth.
Yes, Lucille Bluth.
That's like a whole joke of the show. Lucille.
Who's killed by a loose seal. I think that was the last episode that I watched.
Make love in your own hand.
It's been a while since I've seen all the episodes. Cut me some slack. It's been 10 years since I've seen that season. So anyway, this is the anniversary of the unveiling of the design of the Blue Note. So that's kind of cool. And to me, the Blue Note it really hasn't changed a whole lot. It's it's been more modernized a little bit, like the Maple Leaf, I guess, but on their logo. But it's stayed pretty much the same, and it's a kick-ass logo. It really
that's something I love about our team is that it's a logo that you kind of look at and you say, okay, yeah, it's never going to change. Like you said, been modernized here a little bit. You know, the red thrown in the stripe there in the 90s, for example. And yeah, you look at like the Sabres, and it just seems like every 5 years they got a new logo. The Panthers just released a new logo within the last couple of years, the Stars, and I just feel like hopefully the Blues know to never fully change that logo. It's just something that's too iconic.
20 years ago today, in 1999, the St. Louis Arena, or the Checker Dome, was imploded, torn down, which was a sad day. Did you make it down to there to get anything they were selling with the seats and stuff?
No, I did not. I was too depressed.
Yeah. I went. I may have told the story on the show before, but when they invited the public down to the arena before they imploded it, and they were selling off like the seats, and they had a lot of the seats just stacked around the outside of the arena. And you walked up the arena, and there was this big, huge fenced-off area that went all the way around the arena. One, to keep people out, and I guess they opened it up for the public to walk around the outside to then pick up seats, and they could pick up as many as they wanted, I guess. And I think it was $35 a seat, $35 for a fucking arena seat, and then you just paid when you were leaving. And I went with my cousin, and we were late. And
wait, what?
We were late, and we walked up there, and we first got in the gate, and there wasn't much left. I saw like half a seat back. You know, there's like a couple pieces. I'm like, no, I'm not picking these up. I'm gonna walk around and see if I can find a full seat. And I should have known better. I should have picked up just pieces. What do I care? It's something. And then by the time I got back around, everything was gone. Even the pieces were gone. So I was like, son of a bitch. But I have, in the years after, I came to acquire a yellow arena seat that's in my corner right over there, and a blue seat back here, along with about 4 other blue seats from the arena. So I did okay eventually.
They were odd seats. The lower bowl where the blue seats were.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Well, the yellow,
they weren't padded. The yellow ones were padded, and I thought they were higher.
They had blue padded ones too, but they weren't like the yellow and the blue ones that everyone has.
Mm-hmm.
They were almost like folding chairs,
right?
But those weren't.
Those were down along the glass where they would take out the boards for concerts and shit.
Okay. Yeah, Douglas Adams in the YouTube chat says was only the Checker Dome during the worst owners of Blues history. Yeah. That's kind of a love-hate relationship there with Purina, because they did save the team. They stepped in and stopped them from moving. So they did save the team, but then they actually almost lost the team too. So they tried to basically offshore the team out.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, that's a lot of owners. That's how it is. You know, the person comes in and you love them. Oh, this guy's gonna save the team. They're gonna stay here, but then they try to get rid. I mean, look at Bill Laurie. That guy was beloved when he was the Blues owner, but then all of a sudden, the lockout hits. He wants to sell, and he's basically selling off piece by piece parts of the team, and now he's still pretty much hated in St. Louis.
Seems a little revisionist history there, Jeff. As I recall, it is he bought the team. He tried to get a basketball team to come here. The lockout hit, and then he said, "Fuck it, I'm done."
But he did spend money on the Blues. He wanted the Blues to win.
Because he wanted the Kroenke dream. He wanted the Walton family dream of having the sports monopoly in the town. Mm. And when the Grizzlies rebuffed him and the NBA wouldn't give him anything else, he was done. That was his sole purpose.
Yeah, well, he gave us some damn good hockey teams in the time, so
he did.
Give him a little credit.
He did, and I mean, up until the point where he wanted to sell the team, I think he was a good owner. But
forced sale of Pronger.
Yeah, that really does tarnish.
That's his legacy to me.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
and a lot of people hate him because of that, and rightfully so. I mean, it's like Jake Allen's performance the other night. It really is. He is Bill Laurie. He had a kick-ass game, which we'll get to.
fucked it up
and
at
then
the
fucked
end.
it up at the end. Right. 1996, February 27th, 1996. Wayne Gretzky was traded to the St. Louis Blues by the LA Kings. This is a big day in St. Louis history.
It's some amazing events occurred this day.
The Blue Note was unveiled. The arena was torn down. Wayne Gretzky was traded here.
I think Brett Hull scored a 60th goal.
1992, Brett Hull scored his 60th goal in his 7th hat trick of the season, 17th in his career, and a 7-3 win versus the Capitals.
Yeah, I remember when Gretzky got traded here. I immediately went. I was working at Sinclair Square at the time.
Riley, not O'Reilly. Riley's.
Not
O'Reilly's.
Not O'Reilly's.
Not the
just
not the auto parts. Did that auto parts store at the mall? I didn't realize.
Yeah, no. Coffee and fudge. What a great combination.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it was.
Did you guys did good business there, right? I mean, it was
until they made us move and then jacked our rent. It was great. But anyway, when that trade happened, I got the news and I did, what any, college kid on a minimum wage job would do. And I ran down to a famous bar to buy tickets to the game because that's what you did back then. You didn't have Ticketmaster.com.
No. You had to go somewhere and buy tickets.
You had to
box office at the arena.
Right.
Or an outlet or a certified, seller.
The
famous bar.
Schnucks was one, I think.
Schnucks was one. Yeah. Famous bar. Remember famous bar being one?
Yeah. The customer service desk at Famous Bar. I bought many a ticket there. And so we went to the first game. Gretzky in St. Louis. It was against the Panthers.
And Gretzky scored on a breakaway.
That was in Vancouver. He
scored his first game, though.
Right. That was the first game as a Blue.
Yeah.
Scored on a breakaway against Kirk McLean.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got an assist, I think, in the game back in St. Louis. I forget who the big star was in the game, but it wasn't him. And it wasn't Hull. Steve Leach or something.
Oh, wow. Steve Leach.
Steve Leach. Today's date in history, Blues history, 2007. Brad Boyes was traded to the St. Louis Blues by the Boston Bruins for Dennis Weidman, who has one of the best gifts in hockey history. That's amazing.
My legs have legs.
Dennis Weidman and Carlo Koliakovo have those might be the two best hockey gifts out there.
Yeah.
Then exactly 4 years later, this date in Blues history, Brad Boyes was traded to the Buffalo Sabres for a second-round pick, which ended up being Joel Edmondson in the 2011 entry draft. So that's we ended up with Brad Boyes. We ended up with Edmondson from Boyes. So that chain is still intact.
Yeah, that's a fun little chain. What did the Blues trade for Brad Boyes?
For Dennis Weidman. That was it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So Dennis Weidman was drafted by the Blues. So, okay.
Yes. Right.
Was he drafted or he was just a free agent that we signed? One of the two. But he started his career here.
I don't know.
Yeah, he started his NHL career. That's probably right. The beginning of the line.
I liked him a lot when he started. I thought Weidman was fantastic. I liked his hands. Mm-hmm. He was just so cool. It was so fun to watch on the offensive zone.
He was drafted by Buffalo in the 8th round of 2002.
That's interesting because then we traded.
A lot of ties with Buffalo in this.
We traded Boyes to Buffalo.
Yeah, we have quite the trade history with the Sabres.
I know, and I'm liking all of them pretty much.
Especially the most recent one.
I remember when we moved Boyes, I was like, because at the time people wanted him gone because he had such a drop off.
Yeah.
After his 40-goal season, he just fell apart and he couldn't do anything. And I remember when we traded him, it was like, oh, just get anything for the guy, and they got a pick and then Edmondson. So I think we won that trade.
I'd say so.
I mean, the jury's still out on Edmondson, but still.
I think you're right on Dennis Weidman, Bill. I think the Blues signed him as a free agent.
It seems like a long time ago. I mean that we traded Boyes. I mean, it seemed longer than 2011.
That is 8 years ago.
I know, but I know it just seems like it was forever ago.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that he was. Let's see, he was traded in 2011.
Boyes, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That doesn't seem right, does it? Because that was the same year.
Well, he was traded. He was traded. For 4 years later after 2007. So yeah, he was traded in 2011, and for a second round pick in that year's entry draft, 2011.
Huh.
That's what now.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
This is according to the STL Blues history Twitter account. So we're not.
He's never given us reason not to believe him.
No, he's a very reliable source. And if you don't follow him, give him a follow at STL Blues History. All kinds of good stuff, especially today. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Today it is crazy how.
And I didn't even read them all. There was a couple I didn't read because we didn't have time. But he includes newspaper clippings from these things and video links and everything. It's good stuff. Like a blast from the past. It's really cool. Especially, I mean, if you're an older Blues fan, or it's like a a walk down memory lane. And then if you're a new Blues fan, it's educational.
Man, Brad Boyes has quite the trade history.
Yeah, he moved around a lot.
So he, wow. So I guess he was drafted by San Jose, and he was sent with Alan McCauley and a first-round pick to Toronto for Owen Nolan.
Oh wow!
And then I guess he got signed by the Bruins. No, I'm sorry, he was traded to the Sharks. Then he got traded from the Sharks to the Bruins for Jeff Gilson, and then he got traded to the Blues. I had no idea he was with. So I guess he was drafted by Toronto, played with San Jose, and then played with Boston.
How many years was he here? Like 4 years?
He's here a while. Yeah, it'd be 4 years.
Okay.
Did he have one stint or two?
With us?
Mm-hmm.
I think just one. 40 goals.
I had no idea that he was involved in that many moves.
Yeah, he was a traveled man.
I think if you
when did he finally because he did wind up getting in the lineup with Toronto like 10 years after he was drafted by them.
Yeah, how about that? He played one game with San Jose. And then he never played with Toronto in his first year. Played with Boston, then St. Louis. Played with Buffalo, the Islanders, the Panthers, and then finished his career with the Panthers and got 15-16.
I think since he did score 40 in a season, I think a lot of teams were trying to see if they could, change the scenery, kind of get him going again or something. Because I think if you get 40, it was what's his face for San Jose, Chichu. Yeah. That he had a few good years, and then he just kind of dropped off, and then he went to a number of teams, including the Blues, and he just never really did too much else.
Hey, 13-14, he was with the Panthers. He had 21 goals. That's pretty good.
20 goals nowadays, that's a solid number. Yeah. Okay, before we talk about the exciting game that everyone wants to talk about, earlier stuff, the 2-1 loss versus the Wild on Sunday. Allen got the start in the second game of the back-to-back on the weekend, and his play he played well. He stopped 27-29, .943 save percentage, as some people love to point out online. That he played good in this game. His skate save against
Eriksson Ek. I mean, I went back and watched it again tonight.
You still don't know how it went in. That didn't go in.
Right. He made 3 saves on that.
Yeah.
Just by being positionally perfect. Didn't overslide, got his skate up against the post and held it.
It's amazing that they weren't able to push his pad in or something, because I watched the replays and I still not sure how that puck stayed out. I mean, it was just well done.
Probably his best sequence of the season.
It was quite good. We were trailing 1-0 going into the third period, and Pietrangelo scores with 7:26 remaining in the game to tie it. And then the
off of Eriksson Ek.
Right. Which was fantastic. It's the Blues fans yelling late in the third period. You're going into the third period, you're trailing, you're on the road. You're what's the road game?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. And
on NBC.
Yeah, right. And so you're on the road, you're trailing, going into the third, and you end up going to overtime. Automatically, you should be happy, right?
Yeah, I mean, division rival, a team try. I mean, granted, the Blues are kind of far ahead of them now, but they're still chasing the Blues in the standings. So you think, okay, Yeah, hey, this is great. Big game here.
And honestly, the Blues didn't. I mean, they Minnesota kind of outplayed them.
Yeah. Well, shit, both goalies were amazing in this game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
dude,
they were.
that was the best I've seen him play in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, he was out challenging every shot. And I think either team could have won that game 5-1.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I felt good. I mean, overtime got a point because we're trying to, get as many points as we can because you're chasing Nashville, you're chasing Winnipeg, trying to hold off the teams below you, which they're widening the gap now. And then the overtime goal against Allen by Donato. It's funny to read comments on social media. I think the vast majority of people would say this was an awful soft goal, terrible goal. And I think even commented that Donato has the puck, he lets the shot go, the edge of the circle, the edge of the faceoff circle, left wing.
The edge of the circle against the boards,
between the dot and the boards, right? It was way, and the angle was not good to score on. And it's funny to see the comments about, oh, it's a good shot. Like, bull. I mean, okay, it was on net. What made it a good shot?
It ripped the
Did that constitute a good shot on Jake Allen?
It was a wrist shot. It was a wrist shot from the edge of the circle near the boards.
There wasn't a screen.
No, there was not a screen. There was a man on him, but there wasn't a lot of effort to, make sure that you get in the way of the shot. And Parayko's on the other side of the crease, just watching the shot, not wanting to get in the way because Allen's got a clear lane to see it, and Allen's down on his pads and just he's not in bad position. I mean,
he's in terrible position.
Okay, why? Because he's too far back.
Deep.
But here's the deal. I agree with you that he could be challenging more at top of the crease or farther.
Be challenging.
But here's the thing. It shouldn't matter that the shooter's 30 feet out and he should stop it. It shouldn't matter if he's 2 or 3 feet out farther. I don't think it matters if he's challenging more because of the angle. He just missed it.
So here's the thing. This goal says a lot about Jake Allen's game. He has to rely on technical proficiency because he's not athletic. When he becomes athletic, he swims. That's
the problem, though. He's not technically. I mean, he wavers in his technical efficiency.
Yes,
that's the roller coaster we ride with him.
Yes, and that game was Jake Allen in a nutshell. He can play perfectly in a system, and you can ride him to a point, but then just one angle happens to be off, and that's the other point. He
it was funny because people would say that I mean, really, if without Allen you don't get to overtime, you don't get that point. So that's Allen's point. So and I said, you know what? Statement. I agree with you. That is a true statement. What also is a true statement is that he cost the Blues a chance at the second point. I mean, he lost that game in overtime. So both statements are true. And
let me tell you guys from a shooter's perspective, and I think Curt, you could definitely supersize here with me. Idiocracy for those who.
I know what you meant.
But as a shooter, for me, I've done this play before, where it's overtime or it's a close game, and you just take the puck, shoot at the net, hope for a rebound, hope that your teammate's going to be there, and then either you're going to continue pressure or get a good shot on goal. I think that's what Donato's doing here, and it's funny because I look at that where he shot it from. And I say, that's probably not where he wanted to put it. I think he was wanting to slide it on the ice and get it off the leg pad. And he just got lucky that Jake Allen is Jake Allen and waved at that puck, because otherwise you're putting it right in the goalie's glove. That's not where you want to put it when you're shooting from that angle. And it's just,
no.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he saw something there that said, just shoot it right there and I'm going to get it. Maybe.
He
He
didn't.
saw something there. Jake Allen standing in goal.
He didn't see shit. He just took a wrister on net, which I thought, in 3-on-3 overtime.
Not a smart play.
No, it's not at all. He's essentially turning the puck over because Allen's going to catch this puck and give it to Parayko, who's standing there waiting for it. That's the play, and Allen missed it. And I think some folks on the Blues NHL podcast, Rivers and them, they I think it was who's the college coach that's on there? What's his name? Anyway,
John McKendry.
Is that his name? That is. Anyway,
that is not his name.
I mean, God love the guy, but I find myself disagreeing with his takes a lot. I mean, the guy is probably a very good hockey coach. I disagree with his analysis of a lot of the stuff that he talks about as far as the Blues are concerned. But he was saying that, here's what happened. I think Allen is gonna glove this puck, and then he's thinking ahead. He's thinking 2 steps ahead. He's thinking, I'm going to glove it, put it down, and shoot up the ice to whoever's breaking. And I didn't see that at all because Allen is not moving like that. He's crouched down on it. The puck is by him. His pads are on the ice. He's not like jumping up to hurry up and put it on a stick to move the puck up the ice. That wasn't his game plan. People are just trying to make excuses like, oh, well, he was trying to do this. Well, he was trying to do that. No, he just missed it. He just missed the puck.
Well, I saw an argument in one of the Facebook groups that somebody said that Edmondson shouldn't have let him shoot there. But that's a play for me as a defenseman where I say I'm letting him shoot from there.
That's a turnover.
Take the shot, please.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that spot, 3-on-3 overtime, they can shoot it all day long. You hear announcers say that all the time. We'll give you that shot all day long. Clear lane to the net. There's no traffic. It's far out. The goalie makes that save every time. And in overtime in 3-on-3, it's a turnover. The goalie gloves it, puts it down, and you go the other way with it. So, and obviously that did not happen because it went in the net, and we lost the game. So, yeah,
I don't know. I know that a lot of people said that, like you said at the beginning here, Curt, that. Jake got us the point. Jake got us the point. I don't give a shit. And I don't care that he played great the rest of the game. You need your goalie to make those saves late in the game. And that right there is why Jake Allen is not a starting goalie in the NHL. And I hate to say it because I root for the guy when he's in net, but he doesn't get the job done. That happens way too often with him.
And he has played. His play the past, couple months has been much better than it was to start the season the first couple months. Tons better. But this is like we just talked about. This is, and what you said, in a nutshell, this is Jake Allen, the roller coaster that is Jake Allen. He had a great game, and then he allows that goal, and we lost in overtime. So, I mean, he got us the point, but then he cost us a point. So, he cost us a chance at a point.
Lots of conversation going on here in the chat. I want to touch on a little bit of it before we move on. Rorschach5151 says, hey, guys, tweeted you last night. Just found the show. Great work. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And then we got a couple people that were commenting. Douglas Johannes commented on some of our Blues history.
Johannes. Sorry, that was it. That was not. That's from that Sundqvist was okay. For those who don't know, Sundqvist was caught on mic saying "suck a dick, Johansson" after we won in overtime against the Predators 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever.
Yeah, the puck was dropped
unfairly. Yeah. Sorry, that was a joke. Go ahead.
Read our listeners.
Rorschach jumps in again and says, does Winnington look nervous? And I say to you, does he look nervous?
I would say no.
Does he look nervous?
There's your answer.
Have you seen the video?
I have seen
it.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's a great video.
Pretty sure that's what he's referencing there.
Oh, yeah.
And then, let's see. He says a Pee-wee goalie stops that, which, yeah.
No, I mean,
I'm honestly done with Allen.
I
takes here.
I must know with Alan. I think I said that after last playoffs.
Yeah.
That's what,
Yeah.
No, we said that last year. We
Yep.
After that, I think our last show, we said, we know there's going to be some changes this year, but hopefully the biggest one's in net. And that was the one position that didn't change
until recently.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a fucking huge change.
Yep.
Yeah. And then there's a couple of comments. All good. LOL. Yeah. LOL. So people are having a good time in the chat.
Come join them.
Come join us in the chat. We tweet out the link, or let's go bluesradio.com. Or that works. Or let's go blues.com. Or let's go blues.com/radio. Just start typing letters and numbers in the keyboard. You'll get there.
Every now and
then, address, Jeff.
What's that?
What's our email address?
I'm not going there.
Blues@radio.com.
You guys know that at the end of my interview shows, I have the person who introduces me, I have him say the incorrect thing at the end of the show. Right? I have him do that on purpose.
Oh,
he
really?
says, thanks for listening to the Blues Hockey Hour show.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right.
Because I can never get things right.
Trade deadline stuff. The Blues picked up Michael Del Zotto from Anaheim for a 6th-round pick in the upcoming entry draft. Thoughts on the acquisition by Mr. Armstrong?
At least he's not Chris Butler.
That's a comment I made. I was like, he's better than Butler.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Chris Butler is a St. Louis kid. We'd all love to be in his shoes. Those of us that grew up here and played. But
does anybody really care if
his usefulness is over?
Does anybody really care if someone's from St. Louis? I mean, it's a cool story to have. Hey, it's a cool guy, St. Louis guy in the Blues. That's cool. But I mean, really, and he's going to win. I mean,
that's a conversation that I have with my father-in-law. He's like, let me ask. He's like, because they bring up all the time, Maroon's from St. Louis, Chris Butler's from St. Louis. He goes, I don't give a shit. But then again, I don't play hockey.
It's neat.
So he's like, I don't give a shit, but you play hockey. Do you care? And I said, I mean, it's cool, but at the end of the day, I just want the best team out there. I don't care where they're from.
I don't want Armstrong going the extra mile to get somebody from St. Louis just to have someone from St. Louis. We're not the Steamers. We don't have to get St. Louis people to bring the crowd in.
Yeah. To me, I mean, I don't know. I put a little something into it because when I grew up playing, the only guy from St. Louis, like when you searched the entire hockey card, Pat LaFontaine.
Yeah.
And he left when he was 3 and moved to Detroit.
Right. That was the only guy we had.
And the other guy was Paul Ranheim, who I think was the same story.
Landon Wilson.
Right. Because his dad played here. Right. Yep. He was the first of those guys.
Well, now we got the Kachucks.
Right.
So that's pretty badass.
And damn, did you see the goal Matthews scored last night? Oh my God.
Yep.
They are totally legit NHLers.
Yeah. Better than their father. Better than their father.
Yep.
Did you guys hear Brian Burke told a story on trade deadline day real quick about Keith Tkachuk? Said that the 07 team, he almost had a deal in place to move Bobby Ryan for Keith Tkachuk.
Yep, but the owner Samueli in Anaheim said, "Nope, not putting another $1 million into this team."
Wow.
Yeah, it was Tkachuk for Bobby Ryan.
Wow,
that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
He'll wear number 42. Del Zotto will. Do you guys care that it's Backus's number? And
no,
he's it's what, a couple years removed from Backes?
No. Backes, if David Backes would have taken a hometown discount to stay here, and if he did that and won a cup, maybe we talk about retiring his number. But at this point, he's just another former Blues captain. To me, it's akin to Carl Gunnarsson wearing Eric Brewer's number 4.
I saw some people compare it to the Pronger situation when Arnott took 44. I was like,
Daryl Sador. That was the one that bothered me, was Daryl Sador wearing.
Yeah, and to me, the two aren't comparable whatsoever. I mean, you're not going to compare someone taking Pronger's number who was traded away and someone taking Bax's number who left
for money.
Yeah, for money. Not a lot more money either. Extra years he got.
Right.
So, but
I'm still irked that we've seen a couple guys wear 44 since Pronger. That's enough. That is one number.
No,
We've said it on this show. We didn't say it anymore, but that is something that still irks me to this day.
Well, we're of the opinion that the number should be retired.
Yeah,
so that's
and I don't respect for Pronger. Del Zotto's not wearing 44, and it's like
right.
Then why did Arnott and Sador?
And if you want to buy a Retire 44 shirt from our Let's Go Blues Radio shop, it is for sale right now. It's quite fetching.
Feedback.
I've seen it. I can give a testimonial.
It is
fetching.
We did give one away in a contest, so that's for anyone who wants one, it's there. Check it out.
Oh, and I should mention to Bob Wazowski, I do not have your book out yet. I will be sending that out tomorrow. I apologize for the wait.
We had a delay with ours too because sending the shirt and the Tarasenko bobblehead out too because it took forever for the shirt to get here. So the Nashville acquired a few names earlier this month. They acquired the name is escaping me.
Wayne Simmons?
Boyle. And then they added Granlund and Simmons at the deadline.
Yeah, did you see the story on Granlund?
Oh, well, he didn't play because his wife was giving birth.
His girlfriend, fiance, whatever, was in labor when they traded him.
Well, that's her own fault for going into labor on deadline day. You can't do that.
Paul Fenton had to tell him, right? Is that the GM of the Wild now?
Yeah.
Had to tell him. Yeah, so I know this is not a good time. There were some really great stories on trade deadline day. And
Bill, let's reenact that phone call. I'll play Granlund, you play Fenton. I'm calling you. Okay, all right. Ring ring.
Hello?
Hey, Paul, just want to let you know this is Mikhail.
Canadian accent, please. Canadian accent.
Finish.
Sorry, finish.
I can't do a Finnish accent.
Just do a Brooklyn accent.
The girlfriend, she's in labor. I don't think I'll be able to make it to the game today. You may want to sit me out.
Well, that's not a problem. In fact, why don't you buy a plane ticket for Nashville?
Wait, we got Nashville in a couple days?
You do for a lot of couple of days.
For a lot of couple of days. Click.
Click.
Okay, bye.
We said hi when you see him at the airport.
Kevin Fiala went to Minnesota for Granlund before acquiring veteran forward Wayne Simmons from Philadelphia for Ryan Hartman and a conditional 4th round pick in 2020. The Simmons deal wrapped up 3 minutes before the deadline.
And a lot of people are like, what the fuck? We could have had him for Robbie Fabry and a 4th round pick. Why didn't we do it? Because we're not in the market for rentals.
Yeah. And I people are down on Simmons too. I've heard a lot of stuff on as far as like being on the decline and
because he's the David Backes type player, played a very heavy game all of his career, and now he's on the wrong side of 30 and game's declining.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I like Wayne Simmons and I still like his game, but yeah, I was not a fan of that trade. I think Philly wins that trade. Honestly, I think Ryan Hartman is a good piece to have in your top 6, and I think he's not like, I don't think Wayne Simmons is a huge, I mean, yeah, he adds the physical aspect, but in terms of production and in numbers, I don't see a huge difference there. And I think
he has 11 goals.
Who? Hartman?
Simmons.
Yeah. Yeah, he brings obviously the other aspects that you want in a playoff type player, but you look at his playoff numbers recently, I think he's a half a point player in the playoffs, which is fine. But like last year, I think he only had like 6 points.
He is exactly a half a point player. Well done.
Thank you.
He's got.
You guys are looking at the same website.
We probably are at the same time.
I am not looking at a website.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Curt's smiling face.
21 points in 42 games. 106 penalty minutes in 42 games. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a good player. It's just he's not. I was surprised at the backlash that Armstrong got from people for not going after him, and I was surprised at what Nashville gave up to get him. Now, I will say, on the flip side, to make it an even keel for them, I think they stole the Granlund trade. I absolutely think they stole that trade. I saw a couple Predators people saying Mikael Granlund is what we hoped Kevin Fiala would turn into. And then they basically just flipped him for the best you would get out of Kevin Fiala. So I think that was a hell of a trade for them, but I wasn't a big fan of the Simmons trade.
Let's see.
It's the name. People see the name Wayne Simmons and they think, the guy that you saw his first couple years in Philadelphia.
Well, here's the thing, too, is that it was pretty much said, and how much stock you can put in what a GM says before the deadline. It was said well before the deadline that Armstrong said that if he makes a move on deadline day, it's going to be a hockey move. It's not going to be a rental. It's going to be somebody that makes this team better now and in the future. So he wasn't into rentals. And that was when the Blues were playing well and they were, borderlines like, hey, what are we going to do now? Because we're playing better. This was weeks ago.
Right.
And so, it shouldn't come as a surprise that nothing much was done by Armstrong. He got some depth on D in case someone goes down.
Right.
That's fine, but that's it.
It's an easy contract to have Del Zotto here. We don't have that many porn stars for him to harass.
That's another thing too. Is that of all the porn stars you can choose, come on. I mean, let's pick a quality one here. I mean, let's be real.
Oh, man,
he was young.
Lisa Ann.
What's that? I'm
throwing shade at Lisa Ann.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I don't know. If you can pick anyone and you pick her to harass. Come on.
Can you pick anyone though? That's
to harass on Twitter. You can harass. You can
harass on Twitter, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I was surprised at how much backlash there was and how much bitching there was about the lack of moves by the Blues. I mean, when it was telegraphed, like you said, that we're not going to do a whole lot,
and a lot of people said they didn't want the Blues to do. These are fans. A substantial number said we don't want them to do anything. Don't need to.
And I think what it is we have envy of not having Jarmo Kekalainen as our general manager.
Yeah, who's like trading ways, and I was just like, I mean, I've never seen a team go all in as much as Columbus is going all in.
That was insane to me. Like, I mean,
it's exciting for them, for the fans.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if they don't win this year, oh fuck.
Well, if they don't win, what? They're not going to win the cup.
Well, what I'm saying,
if they don't win a round, because
I think they just
their bar still.
If you have never won a playoff round, shouldn't you just your first goal be, well, let's win a playoff round? Because if they don't win one this year, they probably ain't win one for a while.
Yep, because they'll be in full rebuild mode after they lose Bobrovsky and Panarin. And
I think winning a playoff round
Duchesne
would be a huge deal to that city, just because it's like a monkey on their back right now.
Yeah,
especially after last year being up 2 games in on Washington and in overtime, being one shot away from being up 3-0. Who got hurt in the Chicago Anaheim game? 9. Who was that?
Yes, I am not familiar with who that is. Drake Caggiula.
Yeah. Oh man,
Raquel.
Face first into the boards.
5-minute major game misconduct.
Yeah, he's gonna get suspended for that.
Yeah,
that's a. Oh man.
Yeah,
he just destroyed him. He's lucky his head wasn't down.
Oh, it was.
I mean, it wasn't. Right. I'm not hunched over.
It wasn't the neck vent making
Man,
contact. Yeah.
he got destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay.
We digress.
So back to the Columbus talk. They're in it to win the cup. You guys think they're in it just to win a round?
I think. Well, obviously they want to win the cup, and they're they made moves. I'm sure they want to go as far as they can, and sure they would. I mean, that's what everyone wants to do. But I think if they win one playoff round, that's such a huge deal because it's like a monkey on their back. They've never won one, and they should have probably last year. They should have won. They blew that.
And they're
up
overtime goal away from knocking off Washington.
But they were overtime goal away from being up 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0.
Yeah, because they won the first two and then lost the next four. So I mean, yeah, I mean the moves they made, they're all in, which tells. I mean, they're what are they still in first place? I didn't look.
I saw something that there's still a chance. I mean, with how wide open the Metro kind of is, there's still a chance they could. I mean, it's unlikely. They could
shit.
miss the playoffs.
They are out right now.
They got knocked out last night by Pittsburgh. The Isles are the top team in the Metro.
Wow, can you imagine them missing the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, that would be a big deal. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, even if they go in as a wild card, it's like, whoa, you just forfeited a lot of players just to go into the wild card.
Yeah, which to me tells me that Jarmo Kekalainen's been told, you either get us in or you're done.
Maybe.
And maybe this is it. This is his shot.
That makes a lot of sense because with the way that team is structured right now, they've got 73 points. And we got 74, and they're all in to win a cup, and we did nothing because
we're happy to be here.
A number of Blues Twitter doesn't think we're even contenders. So,
yeah.
Well, I think part of their philosophy too with this, I think, is hoping that maybe they all go on a run. If they don't win, maybe Duchesne, maybe Dzingel, maybe those guys say, yeah, okay, we'll stay around Columbus for a little bit longer, and maybe they get those guys to stay. But I don't know. I think you're either going to get them all to stay, or none of them are going to stay, and I think the latter is more likely.
I don't think. I mean, I understand the moves and wanting to bolster your team for the playoffs and being all in, and to say that you're in it to win a cup, but realistically, I mean, I don't know. They're just not. I mean, they have to. They got to go through some teams. They got to go through. To get to the final, they have to go through Tampa Bay,
right? Washington, Jesus. Pittsburgh, who they cannot beat in the playoffs. Well, yeah.
I mean, that's a tough road to hoe. Tough road. How's the phrase go? That's a tough road to haul. Tough road to haul.
No.
Tough road to hoe. Whatever.
I'm with you guys too in the comment you made about Columbus being a contender and the Blues are, I was amazed, and I know you guys were too. We were talking about it, how much backlash this organization got yesterday. I mean, the team is winning, and this is the most excited Blues fans have been about a team, and probably since the third round a couple of years ago. And people are pissed off. There are people that were just slaying the Blues on Twitter yesterday, and I'm like, or 2 days ago, and I got asked if I was high because I was like, yeah, they shouldn't make any moves.
Do you know what this is what kind of bugs me about some of the comments that are made, because, and I know why a lot of people are pessimistic about this team. It's because of how the team started the season. They think, oh well, we're bound to regress back to near where we were before, or come down to earth a little bit. Because of how we played before. I'm like, well, we've seen two teams this season. We've seen this team that is playing lights out amazing, and we've seen the team that was awful.
Right.
So why as a fan when you could pick either one, because really this team could be either one of these teams or some team in the middle, why would you default pick the team that was the shittiest option? It's like, oh, well, this is who they really are. It's just a matter of time before they go back to playing that way. Why? Why isn't the team right now the team who they really are?
Because of 50 years of disappointment.
But maybe that's a conditioned response to things. I can understand that, but I really don't get the default pessimism and the decision to choose the worst possible option that this team could be when how the team is playing right now. I'd rather the team have it done this way. I'd rather they have had the shitty start and the great finish than to have the great finish and a shitty start, than a great start and a shitty finish.
Right. No, we did that last year.
Right. Exactly. And I mentioned that on Twitter a few days ago that we did the polar opposite last year.
Right.
And we got fucked because of it.
Right. No, I think there is the built-in pessimism of being a Blues fan,
which I get.
It's one of those things, but the trajectory of this team compared to last year and compared to other seasons is like, there is not a whole lot to worry about right now with this team other than getting healthy and staying healthy. The one move that, and I still think the Keith Kincaid trade for Columbus is a head scratcher. That I think a lot of people took that as a sign that Bobrovsky was going to be traded. But the one area that I worry about with the Blues is if Winnington gets hurt.
Yeah, well, you know what though, the upside to that would be is that the team has been winning under Allen too, and playing very well under Allen too. So it's not just, and people want to say that, oh well, it turned around with the goaltending. Well, it started before the goaltending. This team was playing substantially better before Winnington took over, but they weren't getting. I mean, they weren't quite where they are now, obviously, but you could see the turnaround because it was December when their play turned around. So if Winnington does come down to earth or get hurt or whatever, I know that Jake Allen is you hold your breath when he plays, but and I would be pessimistic about our chances if Allen were in net full time, but because he's just. I mean, how can you not love Winnington in the way he's played? But I think we wouldn't fall apart with Allen in net. I think we'd regress a little bit, I think, but not as much as maybe you would think.
Right. It's not going to be the complete implosion.
The
team figured out who it was.
Yeah, and it's not just goaltending. The team is playing very well, especially in their own zone, which was one of the huge problems to start the season. Was their defensive zone play was awful. It has been very good. I mean, the game against Nashville, the last game, for example, they suffocated that. The Nashville didn't have a lot.
Right. They had less than 20 shots.
Yeah,
right?
and the Blues had 40.
44.
They doubled their shots, over double shots. I think they had 20 shots. Nashville. Or 19.
Yeah. It was,
whatever it was. Yeah. The Blues controlled that game, and it was just, and it was a lot. It started with the defensive zone coverage.
You go back to the game against Dallas, where we gave up 4 goals. Winnington didn't look as sharp as he was, but the defensive zone coverage in that game was atrocious.
Yeah,
and that was just slow.
Yeah, and every game is not going to be perfectly, perfect roses. I get that. I mean, every team has that. So I mean, and like we talked about before, is that after you play a game where it's not your best, it's how you rebound, how you play the next game.
And you know what's funny about that Dallas game is, not to go too deep into last week's context, but we talked earlier in the year about when the Blues were down 1 goal, 2 goal, it was okay, they're done. No point, might as well just turn the TV off. Even though they were being outplayed, and it was pretty apparent that Dallas was going to win that game, I couldn't take my eyes off the TV because I said, you never know with this team. They might actually come back, tie this up, bring it to overtime, and then who knows? Like, I seriously kept telling myself, there's still a chance. There's no way they're out of this game. And that's what you love as a fan. You love to be able to go into a loss, a situation where it's bleak, it seems like there's no hope, but you're still, hey, these guys can do it. And just that's what you hope for in a hockey team. And that's what fans are getting right now out of the Blues.
Well, I mean, in a nutshell, they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
This is a fun team to watch.
Yep.
And I think win or lose, if a team's fun to watch, I mean, that's all you can hope for.
for a 0-0 game going into the last 10 minutes last night, that was I was so highly entertained. Like, you know, I'd gotten to the point, and I talked about it on the show quite a bit, that, you know, November, December, early January, I wasn't taking time to watch the games because it was terrible. Now, like Jeff said, you can't take your eyes off the team. It's just too much fun.
Mm-hmm. So Winnipeg, the teams were chasing. Nashville, Winnipeg, talked about the moves they made. Winnipeg added centerman Kevin Hayes from the Rangers in exchange for forward Brendan Lemieux, a first-round pick, and a conditional fourth-round pick if the Jets win the Stanley Cup. So, and the Blues are like seemingly all of a sudden right behind Nashville. I mean, they have the Blues control their own destiny after the win against Nashville.
In terms of that second
place in the division, because if they win their games at hand, and they're a point up on Nashville. So, which they're 4 points behind Winnipeg with the same amount of games played. So they're right. They're really essentially right there with Winnipeg, and Winnipeg and Nashville play each other Friday. So that's if we beat Carolina, then we're gaining ground on somebody.
Yeah, which winning in Carolina is tough.
Winning in Carolina is tough, and you don't want that Winnipeg-Nashville game to go to overtime.
Right. And then we're back-to-back again with Dallas, right?
Yeah, Dallas and I don't have the schedule up here. Let me pull it up. The YouTube chat, I think we're getting some agreement in the YouTube chat. Auto domination. Damn Skippy, brother. Rorschach 5151. Now that wasn't a bad move from the Jets. Hayes is having a career year, but it's a contract year for him, so pure rental. You know what? Hayes, I pulled up his numbers here. It's funny because it doesn't matter how many games he plays in a season, whether it's 51, 52, 76, he gets about the same amount of points. Yeah. It's 42 points, 42 points, 44 points. It's kind of like that football running back that was interviewed and said, hey, if you need 1 yard, I'll get you 2. If you need 3 yards, I'll get you 2.
Yeah. You know, I like that move for them too. And Bill, you were probably watching the trade deadline coverage, I imagine, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, so was I.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I work from home, so I had it on in the background the whole day, and it was, I don't know. I mean, maybe I was just catching some of the hype from that, but I saw it on Twitter from some folks too that people were really upselling that Kevin Hayes acquisition. I mean, I think it's a good move for them. It's some depth. He had size up the middle for them. But one thing I saw said this was a better acquisition for them than Paul Stastny last year. No,
I don't know about that.
No way. Paul Stastny was phenomenal for them last year when he went there.
He was.
There's no way that was the case. And Kevin Hayes, fine player. You know, like I said, he's going to be great for them in their bottom 6 role. But I don't think it's a like people say, well, Nashville got better because they got Simmons. Winnipeg got better because they got Hayes. And so what did the Blues do? Oh, they got Del Zotto. You know what? They and Curt, you might have even kind of said this to me in our chat that they had to get better to match the Blues' depth.
I said that. I put that on Twitter, and that was
it's kind of a joke.
It was tongue in cheek.
It is
in a way, and it touches back to so it really doesn't matter. Oh my gosh, if you didn't make a move on deadline day, you didn't do anything to improve your team. Well, that's bullshit, because if you make a move a month or two earlier, you improve your team. If you make a move in the preseason, like the Blues loaded up in the preseason, in the offseason, that's making moves to improve your team. It doesn't fucking matter when you do it. I mean, yeah, okay, you're approaching the playoffs, and you may see a need in the playoffs that you want to address, but really, okay, what need does this team have right now? I mean, there's a couple of depth moves we can make, but really, I mean, assuming we get healthy again, which is a big if, but if we can get our guys back healthy, there's not a lot of need. I mean, pressing need on this team. We're pretty deep, and well balanced, I think.
Yeah, I saw some people calling this team a one-line team, and you got to build it around the other lines. Okay, you get Shen back, you get Perron back, and I know that we make it's like making a trade joke every week, but But really, you get those guys back. Schen's back on your top line. Schwartz and Perron are back on your second line. Your third line is going to have Steen and Bozak, or well, maybe not Bozak. Bozak will probably still be on the second pairing, but either way, that's adding depth. This team is deep, and I know that people are saying right now the team's not scoring a lot of goals. You know what? They don't need to. That Nashville's not scoring a ton of goals. They don't need to. They're getting defense in the goaltending. Sometimes you go through those slumps. It doesn't matter if all four of your lines aren't scoring at the same time. All that matters is when one line isn't scoring, another line is stepping up. And you got to hope that when this first line cools down for the Blues, that's what the second and third line will be doing.
Dallas added Mark Zuccarello from the Rangers. This was before deadline day, but this warrants a mention because they're chasing us. But and 2 draft picks go to New York. Zuccarello broke his brain. I don't want to laugh about an injury like this. I mean, I feel bad for the guy, and but I'm more laughing at Dallas fans. But broke his arm in the first game for Dallas, out 4 weeks at least.
I'm laughing at Jim Nill because he makes that trade. And he's like, all right, we're good.
Yeah.
And second period of his first game, and his season could be done.
I laugh because I hate Dallas.
My team's not horse shit anymore.
And they lost last game. They played the Knights. I think it was last night.
Yeah.
Knights. And they allowed, it was a 1-1 game late in the third, and they allowed a goal, and they allowed like 2 or 3 more with the goalie pulled. So it was they kind of I was laughing while I watched the end of that game.
Yeah, as you tweeted out, it just came up in my Twitter feed. Vegas board just scored 2 of the flukier goals you'll see against the Stars to take the lead in the third period, and you post the Jim Carrey gif.
Yeah, the snickering, laughing, giddy laugh. Yeah, well, it was the one that I think it was the go-ahead goal was just a shitty. I don't know if you saw it. It was a botched play by Bishop, and the behind the net, and the puck was centered and went off a defenseman's skate, and then in the open net because Bishop hadn't gotten back. It was really goofy looking, and I'm like, oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah, Bishop was having a pretty good game to that point.
He was, and he ended up with an Allen game. So the Nashville game last night, Blues win 2-0. Sammy Blais, the goaltender, the Globetrotter, before the game, his plane was at 7:30 in the morning to Denver, and when he got to Denver after the flight, he opened his phone and he was told to come back to St. Louis for the game because Steen was sick. So he got to St. Louis at 2:30, got a light 15-minute nap in, and came to the rink and played a decent game.
I'll tell you what, his last 2 games. I mean, that shootout goal against Boston. Holy fuck.
That was amazing.
God, I mean, he was on the goal line and he put it on the roof.
Yep, that was fantastic.
And he was all over the ice last night. He was insanely good.
And that speaks to the Blues' depth, which we talked about a lot lately. And he's one of those guys you can plug in, and he makes it hard to take him out. So Winnington got the start. Blues controlled this game. Badly outshot Nashville, but it was a barn burner. Scoreless into the third. Blues got 2 goals in the third. Bozak from Tarasenko and Pietrangelo with 7:25 left in the game, which took the roof off our house.
Yeah,
yeah. Because my kids, I'm letting them watch these games. Because it's
because
exciting.
You're a good dad.
I'm a good dad. It's exciting hockey, and they won 2, and they love it, so it's great. And then Pietrangelo got the empty net goal with 4 seconds to go. Winnington stops all 19 shots to record his 5th shutout in his 18th start, which that's a new state record. He's now tied with Bobrovsky for the 2nd most shutouts in the NHL this season, 1 behind Fleury and Vasilevsky.
And he's done it in half a
18
season.
Starts. That's a modern day new NHL record, which it is because I posted that graphic there that the NHL tweeted out. That's the most shutouts in the first 18 starts since the 30s, which Frank Brimsek had 6 in 38-39.
And before that, don't forget, so someone I grew up watching, Lauren Shabbat.
Back in 26, 27. Yeah, he had 6 a year.
You know what he was famous for? He used to have a monkey on his shoulder, and he'd smoke a cigar during games.
I've heard about that from the moving pictures. I think they had in the
Here, see?
yeah, people really talk like that back then. It wasn't just the movies. I think it was like a Hollywood accent, just that dialect, that part of the country. Wow, see.
So you guys know that Jordan Binnington is now the franchise leader in shutouts. No, but he is tied. He is tied for 17th right now in Blues all-time shutouts,
which is not really a testament of Binnington's massive shutout success. It's more a testament of our goaltending history,
Our mediocrity.
Right. We haven't had a lot. We've had some really good goaltenders,
Right.
just not here that long.
Right. Plant, Hall.
Yeah, at the end of their careers.
Right.
Joseph didn't stay here.
Grant
Fuhrer was here at the end of his career.
Roman Turek.
Tom Barrasso,
Yeah. Brent Johnson.
Chris Beckford-Sue,
Yeah.
Cody Rutkowski.
Oh.
Pat Jablonski.
I was going to say Jablonski. God damn it. Now I got to choose another lefty. Shit.
Jeff Sargent.
Jeff
Speaking
Sargent.
of lefty.
Oh.
Bruce Racine,
Guy Hebert.
Marek Schwartz,
Nice. Riendo.
Hanu Toivonen.
That one.
We just gonna name all of them.
Hines.
Daryl May. Look it up. Mid-80s.
Walmsley.
Phil Muir.
Millen. You can go all day.
You really can.
A lot of goalies.
Actually, I'm waiting for it. But one of my favorite Twitter followers is at Doug Norris, or favorite follows. He doesn't follow me. I follow him. And every Monday he does he posts 10 pictures of goalies from one team. And, just post the picture. And later that day, he reveals who they are. And just following that on Monday is great. And you learn so much if you try to figure out who it is. And you realize, holy shit, every team, even the Ottawa Senators, who've only been around since, this incarnation of them has only been around since 92. How many goalies a team actually goes through?
Yeah, I know.
It's amazing.
Well, that one season went through Jim Carrey,
right?
Mike Liut. Didn't say Liut. Which Rorschach 5151 said that in the YouTube chat.
But
Sanowski.
Ed Stanowski, Rick Hines.
I said Rick Hines.
Did you?
Yeah.
He gets 2 votes.
Wow. It is amazing just how many goalies come through the NHL in every team. But yeah, highly recommend it at Doug Norris. Or I think it's at Doug Norris, or maybe it's Goalie History. I think his website is goaliehistory.org or
That's cool.
goalies.org.
I
I should
wanna
look it up
say-
and give it to you right.
I want to say that at STL Blues History has talked about him before.
From a goalie perspective, he is the best follow I've found.
What's that one website, goaliearchives.com? Something like that. That gives you the goalies for every team of all time. That's a pretty sweet thing, too.
Yeah, I think that's his site.
Okay, well, there you go.
So PK Subban, last game, Mr. Bad Talk Show.
Mr. I'm dating Lindsey Vaughn.
Have you seen his talk show? We talked about this before?
Yeah, it's at Goalie History.
At Goalie History. Okay.
Have you seen Lindsey Vaughn?
I have seen Lindsey Vaughn.
I like Lindsey Vaughn.
She's very attractive. Good for PK. But we're talking about hockey now.
Okay.
Is Tiger Woods going to give us a Sean Avery sloppy seconds video?
Sean Avery.
That would be amazing.
The classy guy, Sean Avery. Yeah, I mean, is anybody surprised at the way, at Subban's antics again this game? I mean, it's just, it's so, when we talked about this when he went in the trade from Montreal for Weber, I love the guy's talent, but fuck, if he doesn't pull shit like this. And I'm sure, yeah, it's one of those things where if he's on your team, you love him, and you love the pot stirring shit that he does. But as far as like a hockey fan sense, the opposing fans go, it's like, well, fuck, he's one of the more hated guys that you want to play against.
Oh, easily. And he's a guy that I actually like him in his personality. Like
I do too.
I'm with you. I didn't like his show. I thought that was.
I hated the show. It was.
Yeah, I mean, when I've seen him in interviews and the shit he's done with like Pierre when he's messed with him, and I'm always like, okay, he's a funny guy. Like, seems like a good locker room guy. And Bill, I'm sure you like him because of his Montreal days.
I still haven't. I do, and I still haven't forgiven Mark Bergman for that trade. I mean, it was a terrible.
I didn't
trade.
like the trade at the time. I was like, oh, I think Nashville won that trade.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, PK is a natural entertainer, and I expect him to kind of do go the way of Sean Avery, retire early and focus on entertainment, and he's going to make a killing at it. Unlike Avery, who focused on fashion. Isn't that what he went into?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, probably.
Yeah,
as a New York guy.
But no, I think he's the perfect showman. I mean, you go back to the videos he did with the Children's Hospital in Montreal, the 2 years in a row, where that is just the most, like, I watch those and I'm just amazed at what a great person and great showman he is. But leave the bullshit off the ice.
Jesse Hill commented in the YouTube chat, said, wasn't Steve Ott a similar player? I think Steve Ott did a lot more shit disturbing, and he was not near as talented.
Right.
Even though fantasy wise, Steve Ott was a pretty damn good player to have on your fantasy hockey team, because he would get a lot of penalty minutes, and he put some points up for a while.
He was he and Brendan Morrow were the two guys that you wanted for every category.
Yeah, right. He was like across the board guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only difference was
I was just gonna say to Jesse that I
go ahead, Bill.
Okay,
go.
That I think that Ott is probably the best chirper I've ever heard, but he's not a showman. PK Subban isn't an entertainer.
That's true. Yeah, Ott wasn't trying to entertain the fans necessarily.
He was trying to entertain both benches and the refs.
His job was to get under the skin of other players and just do dirty stuff, like, subtly, more or less.
Ott annoyed me because he would, I think people would get under his skin more than people do with Subban, and he would take a stupid penalty, just an absolutely dumb penalty at the wrong time. Subban, I mean, he definitely retaliates, but I think he's smarter about making sure the referee's not looking, going behind the play and doing something, and he gets away with it more because I think maybe it's just because he's a more likable guy to the refs. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I think he got rung up plenty of times for taking a stupid penalty. You don't really see Subban do that a whole lot.
Jesse Hill said so then what's the problem with what Subban does? And I'm like, if he was on my team, I wouldn't have a big problem with what he does. Well, one, he doesn't get called, and so it's not hurting the team. They don't call penalties on the guy that much, and he's a good player. I wouldn't have a problem with what he does necessarily that much if he's on my team. The problem I have is that, like any fan that plays against the Predators, they're gonna fucking hate him because he pulls that shit. That's just the way that sports work. I mean, that kind of player you enjoy having on your team because it's like, we're taking it to the team and not getting called for it. But as an opposing fan, you fucking hate it. It's just the way it works. Let's see. The Blues finished February 12-1-1, setting a new team record for wins in February. That's a new state record.
How many times are you going to?
I don't know.
The Brian Regan bid in?
I don't know. I like Brian Regan.
Well, you know what sucks about that is that's actually, they tied the record for most wins in 1 month. But because February is such a short month, they can't build on that.
Right.
So this is actually the record for any 1 month. It's just happened to be in the 28-day month.
Right. They tied the record for a different month, but they set the record for February.
Right.
For them.
Yeah.
Blues are only 4 points behind Winnipeg with equal games played, 5 points behind Nashville with 3 games in hand. We talked about this. Winnipeg and Nashville play each other on Friday night when we play Carolina on the road. And then we play Dallas at home. And then a much-needed 3-day break, which we haven't had 3-day break in a long time.
We're in the midst of one right now.
2-day break. Wednesday, Thursday? No, we play Friday.
Right. But we were
Wednesday, Thursday off.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
That's you've been away from work too long.
I have. I've lost track of time. God, Ryan Miller, that was a bad goal.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
What? Ryan Miller, a lot of bad goal.
Yeah. I'd say there's more than a 5% chance of that happening.
Let's see. 7 of our last 8 games to end the season are at home. So there's that.
Yeah.
Not that it matters. We play good on the road too.
Right. We've a lot of games on the road, and now you got the basketball and wrestling tournaments in town. Still going to be away from the rink for a week or two, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. March Madness or Arch Madness.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was actually a very heated topic of discussion last night. Or was it yesterday? Last night, whenever it was, between some notable Blues accounts on Twitter. Are the St. Louis Blues legit contenders? Are they legit Stanley Cup contenders right now?
Right now? Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to predict the future, but I mean, right now.
Yeah. Right now.
Today, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
even with the injuries?
Yes.
Yeah. The way they're playing?
No, I agree with you. I don't think anybody wants to play the Blues right now. Who will?
I know. I'm just saying. I think right now, yeah, but that's the issue. You know, a lot of people are saying, are they peaking too early? And you just have to hope that maybe it's not a matter of peaking. Maybe they're playing at a level that they can maintain. Now, I think we've said this before. There's no way Winnington keeps up the numbers he's putting up. But if he drops back down to the average for a goalie and the Blues start putting up 2-3 goals a game, I think that's conceivable. That makes him a contender.
Yeah. All he needs to do is be an average goalie who doesn't give up deflating goals, and I think this team's going to be good.
Yeah, and I think that applies to any goalie. Anytime your goalie allows deflating goals, soft goals in big games, especially where goals are a premium, it's a deflating thing. You can't get around that. I don't think it's in people's nature to shrug that off easy at all. If you're a player, it's happened to me. If you're on a team and you have no faith in your goalie, it allows a soft goal in a big game, and it's a struggle to score goals. It's tight scoring, and your goalie allows a soft year too. It's like it's just you get deflated.
You say that with your goalie sitting right across from you.
I played with a number of goalies. Bill was one of them. Bill was not, I was fortunate to actually play with good goaltending on the teams I played on. With Bill, my cousin, my brother, we always had. Yeah, and maybe it was the entire team. We played well together too. We had some good teams, so that was fun.
Yeah, for the most part, I didn't play goal all that often.
No,
on the teams that we played together on.
No, it'll kill on Belleville when they were open. You played some. Yeah. Keith played most of the games. Jeff played a lot of D. You played a lot of D. Mm-hmm. But Bill would spot start. Jeff would too.
Yeah.
So, I agree with you. I think the Blues are contenders. I don't know how they couldn't be. I think if you're saying they're not, which we touched on earlier, and you're expecting the team to fall back to the way they played earlier in the season, I'm not sure exactly why that mindset would be in place, but I choose to pick the good team to stay with. I don't know. That's the way I am.
Yeah, the way I see this team now is that, even 2 weeks ago, I figured we'll make the playoffs out in the first round. Now I don't know.
With the way Nashville's playing and Winnipeg's playing, we're probably going to play Nashville unless we catch Winnipeg, unless we finish first. Mm-hmm. We are going to play Nashville.
Which then, is that crazy that we're going to wind up playing one of the teams that we've left in the dust? if we overtake and
if we finish first,
right? If
Yeah.
we finish first,
I know.
and you wind up playing
Dallas or
Dallas or
somebody.
Minnesota,
yeah.
that's
I mean, it's gonna be. I don't think it matters who we play in the first round. I guess we could play. I don't want to play Winnipeg. That's who I don't want to play.
Yeah.
I would love to play Nashville in the first round.
Mhm.
I mean, part of me, and we talked about this before, I want revenge from a few years ago when we lost to them. That's just in my nature to get them back.
Well, something else we've talked about on the show is just how the playoffs is just entertaining hockey.
Yep.
That's going to be an entertaining 7-game series right there.
I mean, if the last three games we've played against them, if it's the playoffs are, I mean, that's regular season. I mean, the intensity is going to be bumped up even more in the playoffs, and those games were fantastic. I mean, they were playoff level games.
Yeah.
Just
each one of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
and Jake Allen won one of them.
He did. He was forced to play in the back-to-back.
I mean, I mentioned it last week that the O'Reilly overtime goal, I jumped up and yelled like I haven't yelled in years over a Blues game. I did it again when Bozak scored last night.
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy that you see these plays this team's making to come up with big game situations, and you say, how can they not be considered contenders at this point?
Jesse Hill asked in the YouTube chat, do any of you think we can win a playoff series versus Winnipeg?
It's possible.
I think the Winnipeg is not playing very well right now.
Right.
They're not like they were early in the season. They're falling off.
And Hellebuck's not having the same kind of year he had last year.
No.
I don't think that they are, that they're completely unbeatable.
No, and I think especially now, and I don't think we've fared too well against them this season. But
no, we still haven't figured out. I mean, what Liney lit us up for 5 goals, right?
Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah, if we figure out how to cover him and then not let some of their water bug type forwards get open,
I'd like to play them right now. Do we play them again?
And it's been a while since we have. We've got to play them at least once more.
Pretty sure we play them one more time.
I think we do. I think you're right. Let's see, not this month because this month is done.
Yep.
We do not play them in March, so we don't play them again.
We're done with them.
Huh.
What an insane schedule. Yet we play Ottawa, we play Buffalo,
Carolina,
Detroit,
Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay,
New York,
Rangers.
New Jersey.
We only have 2 more division games.
Yeah. But
Dallas and I'm sorry, 3. Dallas, Chicago, and Colorado.
Yeah. And our schedule in March is pretty easy. I mean, it's way easier than February. Our strength of schedule the rest of the way is pretty easy. I think it's the 3rd easiest, I think I read. And that's what makes me think that this team, we could win the division. And that is bonkers to me, just based on where the team was before in the season, and how and the fate we accepted of this team at one point, and now that we have a realistic shot of if they keep playing well, of winning the division. That's okay. This was tweeted to us, I think yesterday. Strength of schedule down the stretch with Winnipeg, Nashville, and St. Louis. And this was before last night's games. So before last night, Winnipeg was at 78 points with a 629. Let's see, what does that mean? Point percentage? Yeah. Are 6-8 since the All-Star break. Projected results based on remaining strength of schedule and recent performance. 7-8 versus Red. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead. Their projected final points is 100.
Is that Dom Decision's model?
That might be it, actually.
It might be. I don't see it on here, but I think it is. So their projected final points is 100. Nashville's projected is 101. This is all based on strength of schedule. And St. Louis's is 104. Wow.
Food for thought.
And really, the March's schedule and April, the 4 games in April, they are, I can't get over our I still can't, like, it's a dream in February, because specifically remember me saying on the show at one point right before February started that our season will be made or broken in February because of the schedule is so tough. And I said, if we can get through February being like around a wild card spot, I think we'll be okay, because March is easy. And they blew through February like it was nothing.
Yeah. I mean, go back to the when we had to go basically the 3 straight games against 2 of the best 4 teams in hockey.
Yep.
In Tampa and Nashville, and we dominated those games.
Tampa, Nashville, and won all 3.
I wanted 1 point out of that, and we got
6.
All 6.
Yeah. We said if they went 500 in February, that's a win when you look at that schedule.
Yep.
And 12-1-1. That's crazy.
And it's a testament to the goaltending. It's a testament to the overall team play, the defense. It's just been, it all came together. And I think people have started to say they hate the word gelling as far as what the team's doing, but whatever. How else are you going to fucking describe it? The team came together like all at once. So
everything is going well for this team right now. And it can be hard for some pessimistic folks, myself sometimes included, to accept that. But this has got to be one of the best times to have been a Blues fan over a short period of time. Like, just from the depths that we were at the beginning of the season to where we are right now.
I think, and I saw another chart too, that our chances of winning the cup are better than Nashville's, according to a model. This is it's kind of funny. Well, I think just barely. It's like 8% chance, and Nashville's is like 6 point something.
Tampa's is like 80.
I think it was in like the 15s or something.
Yeah,
20, whatever. But yeah, it was interesting. So I mean, you can't put. I mean, they're interesting to talk about and to discuss, but really, because last season, remember the whole Blues chance of making the playoffs, 98%,
and we missed.
And then they tanked, and we missed it barely. So it's a model based on past performance and expected performance, and so it's a prediction.
As we all know, past performance does not guarantee future results.
No.
And if you ever find a financial advisor who tells you otherwise, file a complaint and get your money back.
I was going to say, I'm like, man, I used to read that sentence all the time. Where did I used to see that? Oh, yeah, I used to work for a financial institution.
That was, and it's funny because
Bill.
You can make that same comment when folks brag about having so many Stanley Cups, and it's like, past performance does not guarantee future success.
Detroit, we are looking at you.
Yeah, just because you have so many cups in your past, that's not going to help you this year. You won a cup 10 years ago. That's not going to help you this year.
Montreal.
When's the last year they won a cup? 80 what?
Who?
Montreal.
93.
93. That's right. 93 against Kings.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Barry Melrose.
John LeClaire.
Is this the longest drought for them?
Yeah. Because
they've won 26 cups. Yeah.
Right. They had the 90s or the 80s were the first decade where they did win multiple Stanley Cups in a decade. And then the 90s continued that. And then,
the singles, they did not.
They are the last Canadian team to win a Stanley Cup.
Toronto's got a shot this year.
Yeah, Toronto's got a great shot, especially if you listen to their media.
Well, they always have a great shot at winning the cup. Well, actually not. They're pretty pessimistic. No. But they always have a great shot of landing that big name free agent.
Right. And they finally did.
Yes, they did. Finally.
They still just don't have the defense. I'm not convinced on them. And they didn't do anything.
I hear Bobrovsky and Panarin are both going to Toronto.
Oh, is that right? Is there no salary cap next year?
Yeah, right. Not for Toronto.
Toronto missed the boat before the salary cap, not winning a cup. They really should have just spent because they had the money.
Well, they did, but they spent it on guys like Matt Sundin and Wendell Clark.
Yeah. Felix,
whoever was the flavor of the month.
Let's
what was that defenseman they used to have? He had a big nose.
Boreas Salming? Are you going back that far?
I was not going back that far, but that's a good reference.
One of the great names in Toronto history.
You guys want to open up the show for a few minutes, see if we can talk to anybody?
Sure.
I don't know if anybody's going to join, but
I don't got to be working till tomorrow, and
that's true.
Apparently, there's all kinds of puppy shit all over my house, so I'm not looking forward to going home.
There we go. I have tweeted out the link to join us live on the air. If anybody would like to jump on and give us your 2 cents on Winnington, Allen, our playoff chances. Are we legit cup contender? That's a hot topic. Some people are pissed about that conversation. Blues, we got a social media fail for the first time in a few weeks. Jeff, this is your social media fail.
Sorry, you're right.
You didn't make the media fail. You
found it.
You found it.
You unearthed it.
Right.
You mined it.
Yeah, it's yours.
Yes, I did. And I'm asking you to vamp.
Oh, okay.
My computer is running very slowly. So give me one moment, but continue.
Sure. No problem.
So what do you think the chances are for the Chicago Blackhawks to make the playoffs?
Well, you know what? It's funny because probably about 2 weeks ago, I almost tweeted out prediction: Blackhawks will make the playoffs. This was when they were surging. Because probably about 2 weeks ago, I almost tweeted out prediction: Blackhawks will make the playoffs. This was when they were surging. There we go. I'm gonna mute you.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, who is that talking? Wait, that's me. There we go. I'm gonna mute you again real quick, Zed. You were getting we can hear ourselves over the speaker, and so I can hear myself talk. Is like a headphones or something you can put in, so we can't hear ourselves over the speaker, because that's like hear myself talk 3 seconds after I say something.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Not working. But thanks for joining the show, Zed. If you can get some headphones.
Okay, I'm ready for some social media fail here. This is from our Brett Garou at BurnKU, which that's just a lovely Twitter handle. Just a disaster for the Blues. This was after the trade deadline. Just a disaster for the Blues. Nashville just grabbed Simmons at the deadline. Today was a bad day for Armstrong to do his best Mozeliak impression. Hashtag STL Blues. And that thread just kind of continued. Basically, just saying the Blues were kind of dumb for not making any moves at the deadline. And I'm not going to argue with people who think the Blues should have done something more. But to say that with the way this team's playing, it's like some people just forgot that they just came off an 11-game winning streak. They've played great since then. I mean, the Dallas game was the one caveat there. But other than that, they've played great hockey since. And I don't know, I guess people just some people expect them to make some earth-shattering move at the deadline when, I mean, at least the people on this show will tell you, they didn't need to do that.
Yeah, I think what we said before, that I think that the Blues made their moves in the offseason. That's where they made their big splash, and it turns out that it's working now, and they're gonna get some players back from injury. So that's the moves they're gonna make, and I think they're okay. I'm okay with that.
What was the I think we brought this up last week. Wyshynski tweeted out, "Wait a minute, guys. what if Mike Yo was the problem?
Yeah, right. I know. Yeah. Zed has joined us.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I'm Doug.
Doug. Okay. Well, it says Zed on the screen.
I know it's my bad. My bad. Two different accounts. I run a separate thing on Facebook.
Okay, so we'll fire a producer.
Hiding from the law, or
No. I run I run a site on Facebook. I have a side name, a stage name, I guess you say.
okay.
I would have just gone with Zed's dead, baby.
Yes, actually, that's where I got that from.
That's the first thing I thought of, and I felt bad. And then you said it, and I'm like, oh, I don't feel so bad.
No, I'm the Johansson guy.
Ah,
Oh, you.
I will not tell you to.
No, actually, when that came out, I was like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome.
And who it came from too. That was pretty cool. I'm like, oh wow, he's got a mouth on him.
Yeah.
Sunquist. My your name is blanking me. Doug, sorry. I keep thinking Zed. Doug. What's on your mind, Doug? Are we a Stanley Cup contender? The Blues?
You know, of course, he actually puts us second best in the West.
I mean, that makes sense to me. I mean, based on our play and how things are projecting.
Yeah.
Who's best? Is it Winnipeg or is it San Jose?
San Jose.
Yeah. San Jose is scary.
Oh no! Like in the Central, we're supposed. Of course, he's putting us to win the Central.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and probably Calgary is probably number one, right? Is it Calgary or San Jose?
San Jose. No. I'm sorry. You're right. It is Calgary.
Yeah,
it is Calgary.
Calgary. I say bring on Calgary.
Yeah,
I'm not scared of them.
I'm not actually. The only team I'm scared of in the West is San Jose.
Me too.
Okay.
Yep.
That's the only time I'm scared of, because they're just doing these amazing things with. Where the fuck did they come from? I mean, seriously. I mean, they were playing outstanding hockey.
Yeah. It took a while for that group. Carlson's
hurt now, though.
Yeah, but
he's got a groin issue.
Yeah, but look at the winning streak that they were on when he was out.
Right. And even an injured Carlson, you go back to a couple of years ago,
right.
He got the Senators to an overtime away from the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
And he had something wrong with his foot too.
Yeah.
But there's going to be all kinds of things wrong with all kinds of players in the playoffs. Just
there
the way
always
it works.
is.
Yeah, that's how it works.
You know, Tarasenko dislocated shoulder, Berglund dislocated shoulder 2 years in a row.
Patrice Bergeron actually died between the second and third periods between the game, right?
All right. So who was I chatting on with Twitter this morning about taking quit all these people saying second place, but it should be first. I was chatting on with someone.
It might have been me. I run my mouth a lot on Twitter.
Yeah. It was on a tweet that you guys put out saying, the Blues hold their own destiny on the second place. And I said, that was me that said, yeah, but they're only 1 point out of first place. So why aren't we going for both? But I mean, here, look at Winnipeg's next 9 games. They are going to have a real challenge of actually holding their points. I mean, their next 9 games are just absolutely just all top players. All top players.
I'm pulling up the schedule right now. They're playing Nashville, Columbus, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Washington, San Jose, Boston, Calgary. Holy shit!
Yeah. That's exactly that. That's why I tweeted that out. I'm like, they've got their hands full. They might actually take third in this division with that schedule. Then they have Anaheim and LA, and then they go back into a very tough schedule again.
Vegas, Nashville, Dallas, Islanders. Yeah, man. That, you know what? And my point was with the control and destiny, I guess, finishing second, right? That's what you're referring to that I tweeted out. Yeah, and it was only because our 3 games in hand and 5 points behind Nashville.
Exactly.
If we win our games in hand, we're up on them, and then we control our destiny. But yeah, no, I agree with you that we're right there with Winnipeg. And then I hadn't looked ahead on Winnipeg's schedule that far. Yeah, and I knew they had a tough schedule. I didn't realize it was that kind of a gauntlet.
They have the hardest schedule in the NHL this month.
Yeah, that's going to be rough.
Oh, it's going to be real rough. And the way they're playing right now, I mean, they either pull it together or they're going to make a wild card spot.
That'd be crazy. They could, if they lose 3 or 4 in a row, they're not going to finish first. It's due, and that Nashville schedule is tough too. Let me pull it.
Yeah,
it's not that tough.
It's not as tough as Winnipeg's, but here, I mean, with both their schedules, it's teed up for us to take first place. Literally take first place. The only thing we have to worry about is making sure that we don't play down to our competition, which is what we are absolutely known for.
I agree with you. And that's, I mean, it's obviously you want an easier schedule, but then again, on the other hand, you're like, it kind of scares you because you're like, you don't want the team to get cocky and overconfident because these teams would love to, spoil the party. So Winnipeg plays, or Nashville plays Winnipeg, Minnesota, Carolina, Anaheim, LA, not too bad. But then you got San Jose, Toronto, Pittsburgh, Winnipeg, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Columbus. So yeah, there's some tough ones in there. Not near as bad as Winnipeg's though. Man, I would not. They got the short straw with that March schedule.
Oh yeah. I mean, here they
worse than our February schedule
in February, and even worse so.
And we had a really tough February schedule, and this is worse than
worse than ours. Yeah. So like I said, I think first is really kind of teed up for us to lose if we want it. If it's ours to lose.
That'd be a fantastic story, and I think if the Blues do maintain their play and finish first and whatnot, how do you not give Coach of the Year to Berube?
No, that's not a. It shouldn't be a challenge. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Tampa Bay is just they're insane. Yeah. Absolutely insane of a hockey team, and there should be no reason why they don't lose the cup. I mean, don't win the cup. I mean, they're such a good all-around hockey team.
Only one time in the past 10 years. I think it was one time in the past 10 years the President's winner has won the cup.
Yeah,
I think historically it's only like 8 or 9 teams have done it.
Yep. I think it's 8 teams in the 20 some odd years that they've been given that out. 26 years or something.
Yeah.
It's not, they don't, for some reason, the President's Cup winner does not win the cup as much as you think.
I follow you, but is any of those teams as strong as this Tampa Bay team?
How strong were the Blues back when they lost in the first round of San Jose?
Well, in Capitals teams a couple of years ago.
Nowhere near like Tampa Bay is.
Tampa's fantastic, right. but we say this every year with teams and the playoffs being a different animal. The playoffs can eat you alive.
Yeah,
Tampa they have a tough division to go through. They got to go through Toronto. That's going to be tough.
That's a tough game. That's going to be the one team that is going to challenge them. I don't think there's a team in the West that's going to challenge them.
I would not disagree with you, but but the thing is getting there. It's a long road just to get there. So I'm there's a number of different storylines here too with these the way these playoffs are going to go. So I'm going to love not just because the Blues are in it or should be in it or they better be in it this year. But
got our hopes up.
Oh my God, I know, right? This if we thought the most Blues thing ever to then fall off and miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is gonna be a fun year. There's a lot of different ways this could go, and a lot of intriguing things. Our first round matchup, if we play Nashville, holy God, that's gonna be a fantastic series. If we play them,
I don't think it's gonna happen. I think
I know, but if we do, I think that would be a great series.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here it's like I said, it's our first place to lose. I mean, we really, if we play the Blues game right now, the way we're playing, I don't think anybody's taking the Central except for us. But in the same regards, if we play what we normally do against weaker teams, then we'll finish in third.
Yeah,
Well,
see,
I mean,
that's my concern is that you look at historically, I mean, and even just in the Doug Armstrong era, and hell, even in the post Hitchcock era, this team is always kind of played at the level of their opponents. And maybe lately that's not been the case, but for the most part they have. So they went into February and barnstormed. Now they look in March and say, okay, hey guys, this is just another month, not as hard as February. You just have to hope that their heads are in the right spot, because if they're not, it's easy to let yourself just play down to the level of their opponents and then let it crumble, and then stay stagnant, stay in third, or even drop down to a wild card spot. So time will tell. It's why they play the games. But I think they're going to be fine. I'm with you, Doug. I like your enthusiasm, and I like your confidence. But we'll see if we're saying the same things in about 30 days.
Yeah, well, my fear is if you look at the last 5 games, we had Toronto, who is literally a Stanley Cup contender. We had Dallas, that is kind of fallen off, and we played okay against them, and they played a fantastic game. Then we played Boston, and we played outstanding against them. Again, a possible Stanley Cup contender. And then we played Minnesota, who is falling, and we played okay against them. And then we played Nashville, who is a Stanley Cup contender, and we kicked their ass. So that's where us playing up to the competition and then down to the competition. That's my fear. Is our last 5 games is really kind of just a snapshot of what we possibly could be getting into.
I think that something needs to be said too for how far the team has come, and I think that if they had been hanging around, second place in the division or whatever the whole season, maybe they would get complacent easier against the weaker teams. But I think if they're right now, their eyes should be on the prize, and they should be more excited than a team that had been hanging around near the top all season. If they all of a sudden they should still be in excited mode where, oh my God, we've come so far, we don't want to fuck this up. So I think with them being where they are in the standings, and they still have a little ways to go before they catch Winnipeg, 4 points behind them. But if they can keep that, should be extra motivation to help them get over the hump against these teams that there might be a letdown games for, just because of where they've come from, and they realize that where they are now and they're rolling. I think it's probably easier to get up for those games than maybe if they've been good all year.
Yeah, you literally just explained what Winnipeg's going through right now.
Yeah, exactly. I think teams can get complacent and take things for granted a little easier.
Right. Like you said earlier, Hellebuck's not having a great year, and they've been hanging around at the top for the entire season, and now they're starting to face some adversity.
I think people talked about too, are the Blues peaking too early? Well, we don't know if they've peaked yet. It's not over.
I agree with you.
If they lose 3 or 4 in a row or something, or 4 out of 6 or 4 out of 5, then you can say, well, did they peak too early? Right now, they're still riding the wave. So, I mean, we'll find out when the peak is over, if ever, if they peak too early.
Well, I mean, every wave crests.
Right.
We just don't know where it is.
Hopefully it crests after 16 wins.
Hopefully it crests in July.
Yeah. When we're done. I also think there's going to be a shakeup in the Central, also on the bottom teams. I wouldn't be surprised if the Blackhawks go on a little bit of a run, even though they absolutely suck on defense, but their offense is just absolutely just dominating everyone.
They've fallen off a little bit.
What's that?
They've fallen off a little bit.
Gave up the go-ahead goal.
Oh, they did?
They were right on the verge. They were like tied for the last wild card spot like 4 or 5 games ago, and they've fallen off a little bit.
Yeah, I hear there's a lot of hockey left. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a move. I mean, Dallas is literally falling. Colorado's making some massive moves. I think they're going to finish up into a playoff position as well. And the Wild, well, we all see what the Wild are doing.
Chicago's schedule in March is not bad at all. But their last 4 games are Winnipeg, St. Louis, Dallas, and Nashville. So that's kind of tough if they need some points to get at the end.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to knock him out.
And if you're a Blackhawks fan, I mean, Corey Crawford's back, so we're gonna work. He's our savior in every case whatsoever.
I mean, that's not a goofy statement. I mean, because the Ward was actually, we talked to Cristiano, and Ward wasn't playing that bad.
No, but Chicago's where they are despite their bad defense and goaltending. I mean, it's literally their offense has been good enough to overcome shit defense and goaltending. I mean,
but that's how Chicago's always been. I mean, here look at Crawford's numbers overall as a career. He's really not that great of a goalie. I mean, yeah, he's lifted the cup a couple times, but it's not because of fantastic goaling. It's because they had an outstanding offense and they were able to score more goals than they gave up.
They also had, a lot more supporting cast on D back when they had Yarmulson. Yarmulson was arguably the best defensive defender on those cup winning teams, and he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And then they brought in who's the guy?
Trevor Daley.
Yeah, well, they brought in Trevor Daley, and then the other Swedish defenseman,
Johnny Oduya.
Yeah.
They had depth at D, and now Connor Murphy is their third best defenseman.
Yeah, and their best defensemen are all old.
Yes. Wakey.
Doug's getting some love in the YouTube chat. Rorschach 5151. Let's see. Damn, Doug, you're killing it on the show, brother.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Sorry. I took it over. I'm sorry. It's a good times, though. I've been waiting for this night. I logged on 4 or 5 times now. I'm like, come on, guys. Come on. Open it up. Open it up. Come on. Let's do that. I want to talk.
Yeah. Well, our 9, I like to say on Twitter that we're 9-ish.
Yeah.
It's usually 9:15, 9:20 before we can get going. Just because we're doing sound level testing and stuff, and we probably should do it before, but
life gets in the way.
Life gets in the way.
All right,
we had to find out who the Masked Singer was.
What's that?
We had to find out who the Masked Singer was.
Hey, I got a challenge for you guys, though. Work out one show where you just invite people and you have a round table, a round robin, whatever, talking, just a open show of people talking for 2 hours and really getting some input. That'd be fun.
We've talked about doing that as a post game show.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Maybe in the playoffs, or maybe down the stretch here in a week.
Especially if there's an early
game. East Coast game, early weekend game.
Yeah.
Maybe an East Coast 6 o'clock start or something. Maybe we could do something like 8:30 or 9 o'clock. We can start the show.
Playoffs. I don't want to do that because they start at 8:30.
Yeah, we always get the shit starts.
Yeah,
but no, I do. We've talked about this a number of times, and it would be kind of fun to just open it up and just whoever. I think Hangouts has a max of 10.
10.
I'm sure is more than enough.
Yeah.
We've had there was a post-season show we did. It was kind of the shoveling the dirt on the Blues season episode, and I think we had 6 or 7 people in here, and we were all talking. That was a fun show.
Yep. No, we'll do that. That's something that we actually talked about just probably a couple weeks ago about doing. It's a good idea, Doug.
No, I mean, apparently you guys came up with it first, so I can't take credit for it.
We came up with it first. We came up with it before, but now that you have brought it up, it reinforces the idea that it is a good idea, and so we'll have to do it. Perfect.
It'd be fun. I enjoy it because Rorschach's got some he's got some great points. I'm surprised he's not on.
Mr. Blues Hat has joined us in the YouTube chat.
How was casino night?
Yeah, how was casino night? That's where he was tonight. The Blues held their casino night tonight. He just said, "Oh hi," and that's it. I guess he just want to make his presence known.
Sounds like him.
Jesse Hill says you don't have to be a Hall of Fame goalie to win the cup. He is correct.
Yeah, look at Chicago.
Tim Thomas. He had some good years though. I mean, this is really good.
Not a Hall of Famer.
Okay, fine.
terrible human being.
He had not a Hall of Fame goalie, but he had some years that if he replicated those years, he'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. But he did.
No, but that was the year. But that was the year he won the cup. So, but when he says Hall of Fame goalie, I think
Patrick
he should mean
Marty Brodeur.
I think he should mean Hall of Fame like play during the playoffs to win a cup.
Jean-Sebastian Giguère.
That's a good example.
That is still the
Cam Ward.
best. Cam Ward was good, but Giguère,
not a Hall of Famer.
Giguère in 03 was the best goaltending performance over a playoff run that I've ever seen.
I agree.
Casino night, good event as always. I think wasn't Bennington at his table?
Table next
table
to him
next to
is
him?
what he posted earlier.
Always a bride, never a bride.
Rorschach, Niemi. That's probably the prime example.
Niemi.
That he's
There and yeah, but I mean he was on the Chicago team that was a juggernaut. So and that helps. And Osgood too. Vernon. Vernon he's a Hall of Famer. Vernon. Mike Vernon, a Hall of Famer.
I don't know that he is.
Mike Vernon, if you're listening to the show, let us know if you're in the Hall of Fame.
We've had Hall of Fame goalies. Grant Fuhr, we did not win a cup with that goalie. Although, had he not gotten hurt, you never know that year. You know what's funny about that year is that people say, "Oh, you know, we had such a great team that year. We were cup bound if it hadn't hurt his knee. Foligno hadn't dove on his knee." But you know what? Look at our record that year. Our record was not that good that year.
Yes. So it does not appear that he is a Hall of Famer. He's a two-time Stanley Cup champion. Flames in '89, Red Wings in '97. Appeared in 5 NHL All-Star games. Won the Jennings Trophy and the Conn Smythe Trophy. Never a Vezina. I don't think if you're a goalie without winning a Vezina, I don't think you get into the Hall.
Bobrovsky has 2 Vezinas. We're talking about Bobrovsky a lot the past month and a half or so.
Yes. Can we stop talking about him?
Well, I'm just saying people like to compare Allen to Bobrovsky. And I like to point out that he's won 2 fucking Vezinas.
There's just minor differences.
A little bit. Let's see. Anything else going on in the YouTube chat? He said Binnington was cool. Mr. Hat.
like the
was he nervous?
Video that made the red night. Cool.
Yeah. He said cool. Yeah. He was cool.
That post-game interview. Do I look nervous?
Oh, so good.
God.
Oh, it's perfect.
So good. That's that look on his face was just like, I don't know, man. I'll describe it. It's just cool.
That's a guy I wish I could have interviewed at some point because my God, he has to be just fun. Get the 1-2 word answers, and it's just he's not even being a dick. That's just who he is.
And that interview just by itself is like, okay, yeah, he's our guy. We're gonna ride his ass the entire way, and we might actually win a Stanley Cup from it.
I'm not nervous at all with Binnington and net. It's just it's a calm thing that he brings. But when playoffs start, there's that first game. I'm going to be nervous as hell because, like I said,
it's a different animal.
It's a different animal. I know that he's cool, calm, and collected, and doesn't seem like anything bother him, which is fantastic and a great mindset to have for the playoffs. But still, there's pressure, and I'm really curious to see how he reacts to that.
I'm going to put a name in your head now that's going to make you pull your hair out for the first playoff game. Rick Ankiel.
Oh, man.
That's what I think. I've been thinking that the last couple days. I'm like, but what if it's Rick Ankiel?
You know, yeah. God. Different sport, Jeff. Come on.
So what you're saying
Rick Ankiel is what, 21, 22?
Yeah, he not even.
Not 20 years old, something like that. He was super young. I mean, here, look at Binnington. He's what, 25 now? 25 now. He's been what, third year now? Third year of running less than 2.5 goals per game.
Playing professional hockey. Yeah, that's
professional hockey.
It's not juniors.
Yeah. Right. And he was a AHL All-Star playing for somebody not even his own organization last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, loaned out to Boston.
Yeah, just crazy. But yeah, I'll just say on this point, I refuse to believe that interview was vodka induced or vodka fueled.
It kind of reminded me, well, not really, but his short answers remind me of when Pierre Maguire was interviewing Taves. Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
And he goes, "I love you, Jonathan." He's like, "That's good." It's like a stupid thing to say.
God, what do you say to all your fans here in Chicago, Jonathan?
Thanks. So live scoreboard watching, the Avalanche have won in a shootout tonight, 3-2.
So what does that do here?
So that should put them even in points with Dallas for the last wild card spot.
Well, they were 1 point behind Dallas,
so it should put them even in points. Or no,
above.
No, that's right.
Above by 1. NHL.com standings don't update right away. That's kind of crazy because
they're pretty quick.
Are they pretty quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are really quick.
The NHL app didn't reflect the standings. What was it about? Or it was the stats. I think it was stats. Like 10 minutes after a game was over, it didn't reflect Winnington's win or something. And I screenshotted it and posted it, and somebody said, "Well, it doesn't. It's not updated." I'm like, "Oh shit, it's not."
I know the NHL.com site. I've gone on it 2 minutes after a win, and they've posted it.
They're real quick.
Okay.
On the actual website.
So, and you said Colorado did win?
Yep. So, Stars insider Mark Stepneski, tweeted out, Colorado beat Vancouver tonight, knocking the Stars out of a playoff spot. This is the first time the Stars have been out of a playoff spot since they went into the NHL Christmas break in 9th place in the West.
The site is not updated yet. They still show the last game as being a loss to Florida for Colorado, and they're
still showing live.
Yeah, it says live 2-2. So it ain't that quick.
No, apparently not.
Maybe Bill's just too quick, and he's seen into the future.
Yeah,
quick place to bet.
My
Bill's too quick. That's what she said.
My Samsung smartphone has a flux capacitor.
Hey, you want to go ahead and if you want to, Doug, if you want to shout out your Twitter handle, if you'd like. If not, you don't have to.
I don't know. I think it's at Doug Johannes.
Doug Johannes.
Sure. Hold on 1 second. Let me find it. I don't really do the whole Twittering thing. I only get on for you guys and JR and Blues Buzz and stuff like that. But
that's all you need. Just those three. That's all you need.
Yeah, exactly right.
And the goalie archives person that Bill like.
And STL Blues history.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's at Doug Johannes.
There you go. If anybody would like to follow Doug Johannes and his good takes.
I really don't tweet a whole lot. It's mostly Facebook stuff. But I did just become a fan of or a STL Blues Radio on Facebook. I missed the contest.
That's us.
I know.
Yeah, we had a couple of contests. We'll have another one sometime.
Yeah. Sometime soon.
Give away some steak.
Give away some of Bill's panties.
And silence.
we could give away the Speedos from that show.
Yes. We didn't do a Speedo show this year.
No. Well, it was our 100th episode.
Yeah. Right. That's true. It was.
It was at fan request. And nobody's asked for that again.
Nobody has.
Strange that nobody's asked.
I know. It was I was like, oh no, we're not going to ask you to do that again ever.
We did it.
Mr. Blues Hat is in the YouTube chat. I would ask him if he thinks the Blues are contenders right now, but I've read his comment on Twitter. So, and we talked about that. So I don't want to get back into it. So never mind.
No need to rehash
Right.
that whole conversation.
Sure.
Except that he complimented you for civil discourse on Twitter,
He did.
which is
And
right.
I talk a lot on Twitter, and I enjoy back and forth discussions and debates. I really do try and keep it adult and civil, but
Jesus.
it's funny that other people tend to not do that as much and drag the conversation down and accuse me of all kinds of stuff. This is crazy.
Yeah, I had one of those debates with you this morning, and then you saw Winnipeg's schedule, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying."
Yeah, no, I knew, and I'd heard that they had a tough schedule, but I didn't actually look at it. So looking at it, I was like, wow, it's nuts.
Yeah, we literally have a serious shot for first place.
I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I'm looking forward to the story that worst to first.
Right? Absolutely, 100%. That would be fantastic. And you realize how much coverage we're getting on NHL, NHL.com, NHL Network. I mean, we are getting massive amount of coverage. The day that we played Toronto, I went to the game. It was a fantastic game. They covered us on NHL Now on NHL Network for 30 straight minutes. When does that ever happen?
It's funny that happens. And after last night's big win, I tweeted out the STLtoday.com's sports front page. Blues are nowhere to be found unless you scroll way down. And there's like 14 Cardinal spring training stories, and then there's a little on the right side, little side story about the Blues winning against Nashville. It's like, what the? Are you serious?
Yeah, we are the forgotten team. They NHL hates St. Louis. Hates St. Louis.
That's the Post. Their website, the St. Louis paper.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I've given up on them entirely. I mean, now unless you have a subscription, you want to read anything on that site.
Yeah, answer questions.
Yeah. Or you have to pay subscription.
Did you see the response that they gave me? They responded because I tagged them in it, and they said, if you want to follow the Blues, here's a Blues link to all of our Blues stories. I'm like, okay, you got a link to all the Blues section of your sports page, but I'm talking about the front fucking page of your sports website, where you have a Blues, you have like the big stories of the day that then link you to that team's specific section, and the Blues are like, you got 3 pages worth down before you actually get to the story. So Mr. Blues had said about the contender thing, did you admit you're wrong yet? We're finishing first in the division. It's been established right now. So I think if you finish first in the division, you're a contender.
I'm sure Mr. Blues Hat will find a way to shit on that theory.
Doug has sold me anyway, on the finishing first overall in the division.
Boom.
Strength of schedule.
Strength of schedule. That's all it is.
Yeah, look ahead.
Play the Blues game, not down to our competition, and first place is ours to lose.
There you go.
I know it's hard to get out of that pessimistic mindset.
Oh, trust me, I am the biggest pessimist. But just looking at the flat out numbers, looking at the possibility, looking at the schedule, looking at what we're doing right now, and as long as we keep doing what we're doing, first place is ours to lose.
The fact that they're doing it, with the flu bug,
without Shen, without Perron,
without Gunnarsson.
Yep.
I mean, I'm surprised I can say that. He was playing some incredible hockey before he went down, and he's going to be out. He's out until April.
With a goalie that wasn't on the roster to start the season.
Right. There are just so many things that never go right for this team that are going right for the team. Enjoy it. Believe in them. They're contenders.
Mr. Blues had said 52 years, bet on losing, and you're right 100% of the time. I mean, we talked about that. That's
performance is no indication of future results.
There you go.
It works both ways.
Hey, look at the Cubs.
Yeah, I mean, they're due. That's the thing. They're due. I don't know. I don't care. I'm enjoying it. So
It's the way I look at it. I've said this on the show before. It's entertainment. We want to be entertained, and we are being entertained right now, and that's the way to look at it. And
highly
makes you enjoy every damn game, because I know I have been.
I think our show is going to wrap up. Unless you guys got something else you want to add. Any closing?
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Doug. That was good. You're welcome anytime.
Very enjoyable, and I'll get on every time you guys want to invite people out there. I'm down to talk, because I love me some Blues hockey.
Cool, as do we.
It's a perfect fit.
I'm impartial on if I like the Blues hockey or not.
Okay. All right. After 7 years of doing this show, you're still not. You're still the verdict is still out. Huh?
I haven't been sold yet.
Okay. All right. Doing those interviews and stuff, and being getting the press credentials. No, still not, huh?
I just do it because I want to impress Bill.
He's getting close. Not there yet.
I'm getting there, baby.
Well, let's see. That will do it for this week's show. For Jeff Ponder and Bill Dam, Curt Price, thanks again, Doug, for coming on and joining us. That will conclude this week's broadcast of Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Sport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available.
A look at sports.
I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to #1. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues.